Hi everyone. So this is the first movie for Chapter 7, Pause and Practice number 2. So remember in the first Pause and Practice we created a template workbook. So a workbook that's really a template. So now we're going to actually use that template to create a file. So I have the instructions here for Pause and Practice 2 on the left side. And on the right, I have the blank Excel. I have I have the system open, but I don't have any file open. So I'm going to go ahead and do File, New, and this time I'm not going to do a blank like we've always done. We're going to come down here and find where it says Personal, and then you're going to see the templates. Now I have a couple of them. So let's see, I do believe it's this one. 7-2. Yeah. So I'm going to pick this template. You should only have the one. I'm going to pick that. So the scenario is you start a new file from this template. But when it gets saved back as a workbook. All right. So we pick this, and then we're going to do a file save, and we're going to put it wherever you want to put it. And notice it's going to get saved as a workbook. So I'm going to pick it, Excel 7-2, and I'm going to save it. I already have one, so I'm going to say yes. So the scenario is you create the workbook template, you save it, and then when you want to use it, you do File, New, and instead of new from a blank, you're doing new from a personal template. All right. So now what we have is we're going to work on form, creating a form in the in Excel, and we're going to work on the developer tab. So both of those things, I already have my developer tab on there, and I already have my form button because I've done this many times here, but I'm going to walk through the steps. So understand I already have it done, but you will not see those, but this will create it for you. So we're going to right up here, this little down arrow with the bar above it, the little more button up here on the quick access toolbar, you're going to click on that. You want to click on more commands, and then we're going to scroll down and find forms. Now I already have it over here, so let me remove it. So then you're going to scroll down and find so it comes up with popular commands, and so what you want to do here is make this be all commands, and then in the all commands, they're in alphabetic order. You're going to scroll down to the F's and find, what am I finding? Form, right? So there it is. Form, add. Now form will be part of my quick access toolbar. So I'm going to go ahead and do, we're going to add that. We're going to come over here on the left and find Customize Ribbon. From Customize Ribbon, you want to find the developer and put a check mark in front of it. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and click OK. So now you should have your form button, and you should have your developer tab on the ribbon. So now what we want to do is we want to go to the responses sheet, and we're going to select A2 through E21. So this is the list, right? So the first row is the labels or the names of the column information. So we want to make sure we include that as well as the data that we have collected. So I have that selected, and I want to click on this form button that we just added to the quick access toolbar. So I'm going to click on it and look. So now I have a responses little form, and look, Chris Bowman's the first one there. So this is really kind of cool because I can use find next, find previous, right, to get to wherever I want. I can also use criteria. So I'm going to click on criteria. Notice the criteria button changes to the form, so we can go back and forth. In the criteria, I can use those wildcard characters. I can use whatever. So in the name box, I'm going to type TAM asterisk, meaning I want anybody whose name begins with TAM, and I don't care what the rest of it is, right? So we're going to go ahead and do find next. And look, there's Tammy. She's record 12 of 19. I'm going to go ahead and try find next again. There's no more. So she's the only one. So I want to delete that one. So I'm going to say delete and OK. Tammy's now gone from the list. So now I want to put a new in, right? So I'm going to click new, and I'm going to put, let's see, John Jones, tab. John is intern, tab. Walker, tab. In the web, we're going to put 12, and in the phone, we're going to put 10. Hit enter. It's going to add, look, John at the bottom here, and gives me another blank form so I could continue to put new responses in instead of, it's really nice when your data is wide and you're scrolling back and forth. It's much nicer to have this in a column. So that's very nice. So we're going to go ahead and close this. And let's see where I'm at, 7 minutes. Okay, so let's look at step number 5, and insert a combo box. So what is a combo box? Well, a combo box is really a combination of a list and a data entry, right? So we've done both. Data entry is just where you're typing data in. A list, like we did in the last one where we did intern, manager, you're picking from something. So a combo box is like the best of both. You can type them in and you can use a drop down. So we're going to so I'm still in responses, and I'm going to come up here to the name box. So I want to select location. So I'm going to do, let me do that again. Drop down arrow, location. All right, so look, it picked Baudette, Breezy Point, Cass Lake, Walker. So that's going to select it. So that's what clicking on that name does. We're going to go back to the data entry, and so we're back in data entry. We're going to go to the developer tab. Now this is definitely one we haven't done yet, and we're going to insert a control. So the we're going to do a combo box control. So make sure you're up here in the form control, not the ActiveX. And I want you to find the one that's the combo box. So that's this second one here. We're going to click on that, and nothing happens. But look at what happens when I bring my mouse down into my spreadsheet. It's a little crosshair, right? So with that, I'm going to draw right here, G2 through H2. Just draw a little box there. and let go. So I put a combo box there, right? So I am going to, this is where it gets a little tricky. So once you put a control in there, if you click in it, it's like you're running the control, you're using it. So when you want to work on it or edit it or maintain it, you have to right click on, okay, so see now I have the little pointy finger. I want to right click on it, and that allows me to select the control for editing without actually running it. So we're going to come down here to Format Control, and that might take a little practice, but here's, watch, I'm pointy finger, right click, yeah, pointy finger, right click, and see how I'm on the edge of the line and not in it. So if I'm in it, it brings, oh no, that it just depends, I guess, huh? So we want to do Format Control is what we want to do. I have more luck when I'm pointing to the line and right clicking. So now we're in the input range is going to be location, right? That was the name of our named range. And the cell link is going to be I2. So it's going to be this little cell right here. So we're going to use this to pick from the list, and the result is going to be here in I2. We do want 3D shading. So we're going to go ahead and click OK. So now click off of it, and then you can see you got that little 3D. So now let's go on here and click the combo chart and look, I mean the combo box, and look, we now have our locations. So let's pick Baudette, and look at what happens in I2, which was our links box, right? Our cell, the link, the results, I guess, is 1 because look, Baudette is 1. If I pick Breezy Point, it's a 2. If I pick Walker, it's a 4. So it returns the position of the item in the list. That's what we're getting. So we're going to use that. And remember, we already worked on a function that expects a position number, and that's the index. So I'm going to stop this movie, and we're going to pick up at step number 6 in the next movie, because that's going to take us a little time to get through that. All right? All right, guys. Thank you.